$150 million in USPS package fraud. Wow, this one's a doozy. Let's jump into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel. Glad to have you guys here. And I thought this video was well worth doing a story about apparently a lady in California. She is of Chinese nationality, defrauded the post office USPS out of $150 million plus. Now, how she did it is not very creative, and it didn't take a lot to catch her, although it did take them 5 years to levy charges and prosecute her after the fact. So here's the thing. She was reusing a lot of packages, tracking numbers, the electronic numbers that you can buy. I guess they have like a program for bigger volume people where you can buy your postage, your real postage, your legitimate postage, and then print out, sort of like we do online through eBay, but they do it directly with the USPS. So what she would do is she would just reuse tracking and packages, and they would somehow go through the system, which seems like a huge flaw to me. So whenever you hear about people committing fraud, there's basically 3 ways they do it on big scale with the post office. I have actually heard of people reusing tracking numbers before, reusing labels, printing them out multiple times. I have heard of that, and people do it on a scale, maybe not 150 million, but I've definitely heard of people doing that. I've heard of a few getting caught. Guys, don't do that. It's a scam, it's a fraud, and you will go to federal jail. Remember, the post office is federal. You will face much stiffer fines and penalties and jail time. So that's the first way. The second way I see people do is lie about the weights. They alter the weights, they alter the dimensions. They'll, ship 10-pound packages, but every package they put a pound on it, or they ship 1-pound packages and they put 4 ounces on it because they get to save $3 or $4 times hundreds of packages. It really adds up. Nicole Snake. Just saying. That's the second way. We see that all the time, people lying about that. The third way is, of course, misusing the materials, shipping stuff that were supposed to be priority, first class packages or ground advantage, doing ground advantage stuff inside of priority boxes. There's a whole plethora of ways that you can misuse it, or ship stuff that should have went and charged you $10, but instead you shipped it, it was over a pound, but you shipped it ground advantage for 4 ounces or whatever. There's a lot of ways to do that. So this is how people commit fraud. It's how a lot of people get away with it. Tons of people. Look, this lady ain't the only lady that's doing shady crap and getting away with it. And she did get away with it for almost 5 years. I did the math, and it was like 18,000 packages a day. I'm not kidding. They said it was 34 million packages at $150 million value, which would have put them at about $4.50 per package. So she was sending a bunch of ground advantage, lightweight packages, and she got busted. I want to thank Ina Steiner for putting this story out on E-Commerce Bites. So this lady, like I said, Chinese nationality, she had packages coming in from China. So what they were, if you guys have ever sold on eBay or some of the other sites, they have a third-party forwarding company. Well, she was a receiving company for these Chinese people. So the Chinese people have what's called an e-packet agreement with the US government. They get to ship stuff from China into America for dirt cheap, like 50 cents, right? Or whatever it amounts to. It's very, very, very cheap. And then their stuff gets shipped out all over the country. Now, a lot of times, if there's a receiving center in the US, they'll pay the normal postage. They don't have that deal. Sometimes the Chinese people can ship directly to their customer here in the US and get it shipped from China to, Tampa, Florida for 50 cents. But these receiving centers, which this lady obviously had, if she was shipping 18,000 packages a day, that's a major operation. That's tens and dozens and 100 employees. I don't even know how many employees that would take. I know an employee can do a few hundred packages a day, 5 employees to 1,000, 18,000 is 90 employees. It would have took a massive operation to handle this. And so she got greedy and just said, oh, I'm going to reuse my labels and I'm going to reprint this and I'm going to fraud. And it was a lot. 150 million over 5 years is $30 million a year. $30 million. I mean, what is that? Like $2.5 million a month? 2.5 million a month. That's crazy numbers, greed. She could have done it for a couple of months and stopped and just walked away with the money, but it's always the greed. It's always the greed that gets everyone. This doesn't have anything to do with, I know a lot of people ask, how do people do free shipping on eBay with $3 items or $2 items? Yes, somebody could commit fraud and get away with it and do it on a smaller scale, but her scale, she wasn't doing that for eBay. Generally, when you see that on eBay, it's somebody who's buying feedback. They're buying out metrics, which means they have some bad metrics. So they just want to get rid of stuff, even if they lose money, to bury the metrics, to raise their account level back up. Loss leaders, if you don't know what that is, you can Google it, but a loss leader is essentially you put out some stuff where you break even or lose some money because you're hoping people will buy that, and then they'll buy other stuff that's high profit. So you're willing to give away $1 on one item if you can make $10 and $20 on the other items. You're just trying to bring them into your store, advertising, marketing, getting your sell-through rate up, stuff like that. Or it is one of these Chinese sellers who has that 50-cent deal or dollar deal with the US government. And so it doesn't matter to them if they sell something for $3. They're only paying 50 cents to ship it, 50 cents in fees. Bam, they still get to make $2. Very high volume. People can do that. Sometimes you'll see like $4 or $5 free shipping items. And those people might be buying stuff for like a quarter and shipping it for like $3.50 or using an envelope with a stamp. There's lots of ways they can do it. Basically, don't worry about it. You can't replicate it. It doesn't work for your business. The only other solution is that you see postcards or trading cards, which I do. You'll see those cheap, $3, $4, $5, $6 because they only cost 67 cents to ship because that's eBay's standard shipping price for any postcard or trading card or sports card under $20. So that's another example of how you can see some of that stuff really cheap. But if you see it on other stuff like books, media mail, whatever, they're losing money. They're buying out feedback metrics. They're Chinese people possibly, but probably not in that case so much. Loss leaders, there's several things. There's also the, possibility that they are people who are not familiar with eBay and they don't know what they're doing and they're losing money and not realizing it. They don't even understand that they are paying more for the shipping and the fees than they even sold the item for. It could have been a typo. Something was supposed to be, $30 and they accidentally put $3. So there's a million reasons. None of it affects your business. None of it causes your business to do better business, and don't worry about it. So that's the story for today. I appreciate it. We'll cut the video out. $150 million in USPS shipping fraud. And we wonder why the prices go up all the time, why the post office doesn't make any money, and why there's constantly these increases, and I can't even deal with it. I'm glad they caught her. I'm glad she's going to go to jail for a while. 5 years on every charge. She's facing numerous charges. She may do decades in jail. We'll have to see. She's a Chinese national, so I'm sure they'll try to work out some kind of deal, but she's going to do some time, and good on that. So don't steal from the post office or anybody else. Don't commit fraud. It doesn't pay. Unless, of course, your name is Nicole, Nicole Snake. Apparently, you can get away with it however much you want in those instances. But for the rest of you, don't do it. Crime don't pay. The only one that's going to pay is you and me and everybody else. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Give that video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. Helps YouTube a lot. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Come back for future videos. And I'll see you guys next time.